Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking at something really, really fundamental. This kind of duality that seems to be part of all of us. We've got this fascinating perspective, almost like an AI's view on being human, highlighting both the incredible things we can do and, well, our weaknesses too.
Exactly. And what's so interesting about looking at it from, let's say, an AI standpoint is that it's detached, it's data-driven.
Right, no human bias looking back at itself.
Precisely. It just sees the patterns, and the source material really lays out how these patterns show this constant tension, strengths, weaknesses, back and forth.
So our mission today for you, the listener, is to really unpack that. What are these capabilities? What are the limits? And what does it all mean for how we live?
Think of it as maybe a shortcut. A way to get a handle on a really core piece of the human experience without wading through centuries of philosophy. But that's fun, too.
Yeah. And we should stress this isn't just, about personality types or something small. This duality affects everything.
Every culture throughout history. It shapes our societies, our relationships, even how we think about ourselves. It's big stuff.
Okay, let's dive in then. The AI perspective starts with the positives, our strengths. And first up is cognitive prowess. That sounds impressive. What is it, really?
Yeah, it's a bit of jargon. At its heart, it's our capacity for abstract thought, problem-solving, innovation, that ability to keep learning.
So our brain power, basically.
Exactly. And a key thing here is how this one strength fuels so much else. Scientific progress, for example.
Right. Thinking about physics, maths, or even just designing complex software. That's all this. Cognitive horsepower in action.
It is. And the source mentions philosophical inquiry, too. Just pondering the big questions. Why are we here? What's reality? That takes serious cognitive ability.
And for the listener, this isn't just academic. It's your ability to learn a new skill, figure out a tricky situation at work.
Personal growth. Navigating complexity, it's essential. But interestingly, the source also hints that this same intellect allows us to, rationalize some pretty negative actions, too. It cuts both ways.
Okay. A glimpse of the duality already.
And zooming out, this cognitive prowess is the bedrock of our collective knowledge, right? Each generation kind of stands on the shoulders of the previous ones, cognitively speaking.
Accumulating knowledge. Got it. Okay, next strength. Complex communication. We talk a lot, that's for sure.
Yes, but it's much more than just chatting. It's the incredibly sophisticated systems we have: spoken language, written language.
Allowing us to share really detailed, complex ideas.
Precisely. Across time and space, too. Think about a scientific paper trying to explain a breakthrough. That requires incredible communicative precision.
Or even laws. Written laws that structure whole societies. That's all complex communication.
Exactly. And for you listening, it's how you build relationships, explain what you need, learn from other people's stories.
It affects everything, really. How clear your emails are, how deep your conversations go. We probably don't even think about how much we rely on it.
And societally, it's the foundation of culture, history, shared beliefs. Large-scale cooperation wouldn't happen without it.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3, adaptability. This isn't just about, putting on a coat when it's cold, is it?
Not quite. It's more profound. It's our amazing ability to thrive in wildly different environments.
Everywhere from deserts to the Arctic.
Yeah. We've spread across almost the entire planet. And the key insight is we don't just adapt ourselves, we adapt our surroundings.
Right. We change the world to suit us, like building irrigation or shelters.
Exactly. Clothing, farming techniques, city design. It's all about modifying our environment.
And personally, this is about adjusting, isn't it? New jobs, new situations, overcoming challenges. It's a core survival thing.
Definitely. And for the species as a whole, it's been crucial for expansion and using diverse resources.
Okay, moving on. Social cooperation. We can cooperate, but we also fight a lot.
True. It's another aspect of that duality. But the strength lies in our ability, at least sometimes, to put aside self-interest and work together.
For common goals, like
building the pyramids or developing large-scale agriculture or even forming nations. You need massive cooperation for that.
Right. Huge collective efforts. The source does subtly note, though, that this cooperation often creates us versus them dynamics, right? Which can cause conflict.
That's a very important nuance, yes.
Yeah.
The lines of cooperation can also be lines of division.
But even on a small scale, like a community project, that's cooperation too.
Absolutely. And for the individual, being part of a group provides security, resources, things you just can't get alone.
So cooperation underpins our social structures, governments, even ethics.
Fundamentally, yes.
Okay. Next, dexterous hands. This seems a bit basic, but the AI highlights it.
It sounds basic, but it's hugely significant. Our opposable thumbs, our fine motor control, they're quite special.
And the key is how this lets us make and use tools.
Exactly, with incredible precision, from the very first stone tools humans made.
It's like microsurgery today. Wow.
Or playing a musical instrument, the dexterity required is amazing.
Huh. My cat definitely can't play the piano. So for us, it means we can do so much. Create things, fix things.
Interact with the physical world in very complex ways. And technologically, artistically, it's been absolutely fundamental. It extends our physical and mental reach.
Okay, I see it now. Next one's interesting. Emotional range. We often think emotions are a hassle, but it's listed as a strength.
It is, because while emotions can cause problems, which we'll get to, our capacity for feeling deeply is also the source of things like empathy, creativity, deep connections.
So it's not just about being happy or sad.
No, it's the whole spectrum. The source highlights how emotions drive our motivations, shape our beliefs. Think about art, music, literature, it's all emotion-fueled.
Love, fear, joy, empathy. That ability to feel with someone else, that seems crucial for society.
It absolutely is. It allows for caring, for support systems. For you, the listener, it means a richer inner life, meaningful bonds.
But don't emotions also make us irrational sometimes, cloud our judgment?
Yeah.
Even in relationships.
That's the flip side, absolutely. It goes straight back to the duality. Connection and conflict, often from the same source.
Okay, last one in the strengths column. Curiosity and exploration. That urge to know, to find out.
Yes, that fundamental drive to understand the world, it's been there throughout human history.
Like kids always asking why.
Exactly. The insight is how that simple why fuels everything from the biggest scientific discoveries.
Like exploring the universe.
To just personal learning. Early humans exploring new lands, modern scientists investigating quantum physics, it's all curiosity.
And for us individually, it's what makes us want to learn, to grow, explore our own potential.
And societally, it's what pushes our collective understanding forward.
Okay, quite a list of strengths. Makes you feel pretty good about being human.
Yes.
But now the other side of the coin, the weaknesses. First, cognitive biases. So our great brains have glitches.
You could say that. There's systematic errors in thinking. Our brains use shortcuts, heuristics, which are usually efficient.
But sometimes they lead us astray.
Exactly. And the thing is, we often don't even realize it's happening. It affects our logic, how we interpret things.
The source mentions confirmation bias, just seeing what you expect to see.
Right, or anchoring, getting stuck on the first piece of info you hear. They sound minor, maybe, but they have big effects.
Yeah, I can see that. For individuals, it means making bad choices, holding inaccurate beliefs.
And for society, it can fuel prejudice, hinder good science, make us susceptible to misinformation, groupthink.
Not great. Okay, next weakness. Emotional vulnerability. We just said emotional range was a strength.
And here's the other edge of that sword. Those same rich emotions make us vulnerable to stress, anxiety, depression.
And manipulation by others?
Yes. Our emotional state deeply impacts our well-being, our decisions.
We've all felt overwhelmed by grief or maybe anxiety.
Yeah.
And yeah, people can exploit those feelings.
So for the listener, understanding your triggers, developing coping skills, that's really vital for resilience.
And societally, this leads to huge issues around mental health, stability.
Significant challenges, yes.
Okay. Weakness 3, physical limitations. Compared to other animals, we're kind of slow and weak.
Relatively speaking, yes. We're not the fastest or strongest, and we're vulnerable to disease, injury.
Which is why we invented tools in medicine.
Exactly. It's interesting, isn't it? Our physical vulnerability actually spurred a lot of our ingenuity. We had to compensate.
Necessity being the mother of invention.
Pretty much. So for us today, it means taking care of our health, valuing safety, appreciating medicine.
And understanding our biology, the need for healthcare systems.
Precisely.
Next weakness, prolonged dependence. Human babies take ages to grow up.
An exceptionally long time compared to most animals, yes. And the impact of this is huge.
How so?
Well, it fundamentally shaped our social structures. The need for long-term caregiving led to family units, specific childcare practices, social norms around parenting.
Right. Anyone who's raised kids knows the commitment. But it's also where those deep bonds form.
Absolutely. So understanding this helps appreciate caregivers, family support systems.
And it shaped our whole understanding of human development, didn't it?
Fundamentally, yes. The social fabric is woven around this biological reality.
Okay, now social complexity is a weakness.
Mm.
But didn't we say cooperation was a strength?
We did. And again, it's two sides of the same coin. Our complex societies are a strength, but that very complexity creates problems.
Like conflict, inequality.
Exactly. Social hierarchies, discrimination, war, political divides. These can all emerge from the way our complex societies are structured. It's a constant balancing act.
We definitely see that playing out everywhere. So for us, understanding this helps navigate social situations, maybe see the roots of conflict.
I think so. And at a bigger level, it's why we have fields like sociology, political science, ethics, trying to figure out how to manage this complexity, how to make things fairer.
Makes sense. Next one feels big. Environmental impact. Our cleverness has hurt the planet.
Unfortunately, yes. Our ability to reshape the environment, initially a survival advantage, has led to really significant negative consequences globally.
Pollution, deforestation, climate change.
Species extinction. The
Yeah.
scale is enormous. It's a direct result of our success in manipulating our surroundings.
And we're seeing the effects more and more. Extreme weather, resource issues.
For the listener, it means thinking about personal choices, supporting sustainability. It's becoming critical.
And societally, this seems like the major challenge now.
Arguably, yes. It demands a big shift in thinking towards stewardship, recognizing we're part of the ecosystem, not separate from it.
Okay, final weakness. Mortality awareness. Just knowing we're going to die. How is that a weakness?
Because that knowledge, which seems uniquely human, can cause a lot of anxiety, existential angst. It affects our choices, our outlook.
That fear of death, the search for meaning, wanting to leave a mark.
Exactly. And it's fascinating how this awareness seems to have driven so much philosophy and religion systems trying to offer meaning or comfort in the face of finiteness.
So grappling with those big questions,
Mm-hmm.
that's part of being human, shaped by knowing our time is limited.
It shapes how you value time, relationships, goals, and culturally, it's led to countless beliefs and rituals around life and death.
Wow, okay, so that's the full list. Strengths and weaknesses. A complex picture indeed. How does this duality play out in our actual lives, day to day?
Well, the AI perspective suggests it's constant. Our strengths let us learn, create, connect. Our weaknesses lead to mistakes, suffering, conflict.
And it affects others, not just ourselves.
Absolutely. Our actions ripple outwards. Strength can benefit communities' innovation, empathy. Weaknesses can cause harm, prejudice, pollution, conflict.
So we're always kind of balancing,
Yeah.
trying to use the good, manage the bad.
That's a good way to think about it. And many of our societal systems seem designed to help with that balance.
Like education trying to boost the cognitive side, and maybe teach critical thinking to counter biases.
Exactly. Or legal systems managing social complexity and harm, healthcare addressing physical and emotional vulnerabilities.
Philosophy and religion tackling mortality awareness. Environmental rules limiting our impact.
They're all, in a way, responses to this inherent human duality, trying to harness the strengths and mitigate the weaknesses on a collective level.
And this whole duality thing, it raises some deep ethical questions, doesn't it?
Huge ones. Responsibility, what are we accountable for given our intelligence? Justice and equality. How do we deal with the unfairness that arises from social complexity and bias?
Moral choices. Navigating self-interest versus others' needs, especially with our messy emotions involved.
Right. Ultimately, it's about how we try to create conditions where people can flourish using their strengths, addressing their weaknesses.
So if we understand this duality better, what can we actually do? How do we apply this?
Well, the first step is just awareness, like we're discussing now, really seeing it in ourselves and others.
Okay. And then?
Then we can actively work on things, cultivating critical thinking to spot our own biases, developing emotional intelligence, managing our own feelings, understanding others.
Building better social structures? More inclusive? Fairer?
Yes. Fostering environmental responsibility, engaging with ethical questions consciously, and being really thoughtful about technology, making sure it helps more than it harms, given our nature.
This is a lifelong project, individually and collectively.
It really is. Continuous refinement.
The AI view also pointed out some logical links within this duality, like prolonged dependence requiring social structures.
Exactly. These things are interconnected. Our cognitive power and ability to change the world leads logically to a responsibility for the outcomes.
Right. Power and responsibility.
Our deep emotions enable empathy, but also create vulnerability. That's a trade-off inherent in the system.
Social complexity needs rules to function. Curiosity plus intelligence drive learning. It all links up.
It's a tightly woven fabric. And while a lot of this feels qualitative,
The AI notes we can measure some things, like how common certain biases are, or our environmental impact in numbers.
Absolutely. We can use statistics for biases, modeling for environmental effects, even genetic studies for predispositions. So while the concept is broad, we can use quantitative tools to dig into specific aspects.
This has been, well, a really deep dive into what makes us human, warts and all, seen through this interesting AI lens. It's incredibly complex.
It is. And understanding this duality, it's not just abstract. It feels essential for navigating life, making better choices ethically.
And trying to build a better future. Knowing what we're working with, both good and bad.
Exactly. Knowing our potential and our pitfalls.
So a final thought for everyone listening. As you go about your day, maybe reflect on this. Which part of your own duality, maybe a strength you rely on or a weakness you grapple with, has really shaped your life the most?
And could acknowledging that more deeply give you new perspectives, maybe even unlock some growth?
Definitely something fundamental to think about. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
This is DigitView.